Welcome to the Splunk Tech Talks. Today, we're in our platform edition, and thanks for your patience. We're going to begin momentarily. Just know all lines are muted as this session is being recorded, and we want to share this to all attendees later. Also, if you have questions, please submit them in the Q&A option, which should be most likely on the right-hand side of the screen. We'll address them during the session at the end. We have a Q&A session as well. And then note that this video replay will be available on the Splunk Community Tech Talks. So today's Tech Talk is data to value. We want to unlock success through cost and cloud optimizations. My name is Tom Stoner. I'm AVP of our Cloud Strategy and Migrations. I've been with Splunk for about 11 years now, and I've focused a lot on helping our customers move from self-managed environments into the cloud. Today, we're doing nearly 80% of our business is in the cloud, and we've seen many of our customers migrate over the last 10 years. Also with me is Nitin, and I'll let Nitin introduce himself.
Thank you so much, Tom. It's such a great opportunity to partner with you to deliver the session with a broader Splunk audience. Nice to meet you all. My name is Nitin. I'm the product owner for the federated search offering within the Splunk Cloud Platform, and really excited to share a lot of upcoming great product vision and federation-related capabilities that is something that we're going to deliver over the next few months or so. And yeah, over to you, Tom, to cover the rest of the topic. Yeah.
Great. So this is our agenda for today. So we're going to talk about the new Cisco Data Fabric and how we're supporting our customers in meeting the data where it resides. Also data and how it relates to AI and your AI strategy. Federated Search 2.0, what's new with our recent release on Federated Search. There's also a free trial out there for Federated Search, and it's going to talk about that. And then I'm going to get into value realization and how, and some of the things that we've opened up in our cloud offering to help you get more value in your relationship with Splunk. At the end, we'll have a call to actions, and then we'll do the Q&A at the very end. So data and AI velocity, you know, we've entered a massive area of overall data growth. The global volume today of data is about 181 zettabytes, but it's expected to be over 394 zettabytes by 2028. To kind of give you an idea of how much data that is, I have a 1 gig download at speed, you know, my home internet, which means I typically get about an 8 to a quarter of that. But if I tried to download 394 zettabytes, it would take me over 100,000 years to complete. So that's a lot of data. And over half of it is machine data. So we're seeing machine data contribute to this growth. The other thing that's very exciting, I know keeping a lot of us up at night and keeping us busy for sure during the day, is 1.3 billion agents expected to be in operation by 2028. So AI is here, and it's obviously taking over and helping us do things more efficiently. So we face a challenge of managing this machine data and the opportunity of connecting it with the business and knowledge data to drive really unprecedented insights. And that's some of the things we're going to talk about today. So as we see this dual force revolution of exponential data growth and rapid demand in AI and agentic apps, there's some complexities that we see. For one, data silos and complexities are escalating. There's data is everywhere, and there's growing complexities that arises because of agentic workflows and trying to find and get to that data. The other is the operational efficiency and security around that data. You know, we need to stay on top of that and make sure we're decreasing our outages and instead of increasing them, which is what we see with a lot of cases. And then there's limitations to unlock that next frontier of AI. If you can't get to that machine data, if you're unable to tap in and transform that data, it's going to hinder your AI results. So again, we're exasperated with teams in silos. You have SecOps, IT ops, net ops, engineering ops, right? You have all these with silo information, and having that silo can result in costly outcomes to your organizations. And the net result is just slow detection and response time and spiraling costs. So, what are the real 5 data strategy design principles that we emphasize? One is easy access to data, right? We want to make sure we have a holistic data visibility across your domains. Federated, Nitin's going to talk about federation today and how federated data is important, and we need to leave it where it is and be able to access it where it is. Then we want to maximize that data value. So, what's the post ingestion value? What's the how do we cost effectively manage that in tiered storage? What's the most cost effective way to manage that? What are the SLAs that we have related to that data? Then we have outcome driven and easy use of data. So pre-built, out of the box applications, AI powered automations that will really help us use that data to drive our outcomes that we desire. Finally, we're getting into empowering those agentic operations, enabling agents to understand and operate across your ecosystem. AI-ready data to build and train your models, right? And then at the end, it's open ecosystems interoperability, right? We need to be able to easily connect to disparate systems in your environment. And so if we can do all of these things, we're going to make your AI-driven opportunities much more successful. All right, I'm going to turn it over to Nitin. He's going to talk about Cisco Data Fabric and really Cisco Data Fabric 2.0 and what we're providing in that area.
Awesome. Thank you so much, Tom, for setting the context. And again, super excited to cover this topic for the broader Splunk audience. So let's take a step back and just give a high-level overview on Cisco Data Fabric, those who are not very familiar with this vision, which was announced in Conf 2025 last year. So Cisco Data Fabric, which is powered by the Splunk platform, is basically a unified AI-powered next-gen data architecture, foundationally designed to break down the silos, enable the organizations to securely access, manage, and analyze distributed machine data in a real time. The key highlight is that you can actually achieve end-to-end goal without doing any data rehydration or data restoration or even like data indexing. So we'll actually get into some of the details on the key pillars and the core components of Cisco Data Fabric in a bit. And before that, I just wanted to actually give some idea that so what we are trying to achieve. And for the rest of the section related to the Cisco Data Fabric, we'll quickly cover the key capabilities and the federated search and the analytics specific offerings, what we have today versus what we are going to have in the next few months or so as a part of the CDF vision that we have shared in the conf last year by the senior leadership team. Let's get into some of the core components of the Cisco Data Fabric vision, right? So as you actually look at the top, like Splunk can actually provide the ability to support the security, observability, and the platform-related search use cases. So basically, the core foundational components that is going to power the Cisco Data Fabric could be like categorized into 3 different buckets. One is the AI-powered federated search and analytics, and the other one is AI-powered data management, which is going to give you the ability to route, manage, and land the data wherever you want to so that you can actually get the insights out of it in the most efficient way. And the middle layer is more about the internal data sources and the external data sources and how federated search is going to actually play a role for you to derive the insights out of the machine data lake concept, which Tom has called out earlier, along with the third-party data lake storages, which we are going to support or even like expand the support for those storages in the near future. And even the data management is also going to get unified with the federated search offering, which is going to actually give you end-to-end visibility as well as a control and manageability of the entire data management cycle, starting from setting up all the data routing and those kind of pipeline management capabilities, all the way till deriving the insights using a federated search capability within Splunk Cloud Platform. As we all know, the data is actually broken down into silos. Obviously, getting a 360-degree visibility of all these data silos is definitely a great challenge for large-scale organizations. And with Cisco Data Fabric, we wanted to actually solve that specific business problem with the power of AI and showcase how we can simplify the ability to derive insights out of multiple data silos and provide a unified view as well as a unified visibility of the entire data silos through the CDF in the most optimal way. Your data strategy is your AI strategy. When you actually do a one level deep dive into the Cisco Data Fabric. So these are the four core pillars that we support are going to be the foundational pillars for the CDF vision. The first one is the AI-powered data management. Second one is a federated search and analytics, which gives you the ability to actually derive the insights directly from the data lakes wherever the original source of data is already sitting without any data movement or rehydration. And then comes with the help of MCP servers, how we can provide AI native experiences and platforms with the help of like Cisco and Splunk agents. And the fourth one is a machine data lake. So this is more like a very broader generic concept, which is going to be available very soon. So basically, you can land your data in the machine data lake, and you don't have to make any decisions until you figure out what business use case that you want to support with that specific set of data, which is already there in MDL. So we will completely manage and store the data for you. And in case if you want to run a specific TSIDX powered kind of a use case, for example, a threat hunting or a near real-time threat hunting, you can promote that data into a TSIDX format. Or let's say if you want to run a compliance audit, then Lakehouse is another format that we support within the MDL. And you can promote it to Lakehouse and run federation against those data and get the valuable insights sooner without any data movement. Moving on to some of the key value proposition from a CDF standpoint, right? So these are the core top three value proposition from a customer standpoint, which is like maximizing the value of every byte of telemetry, whether it's logs, metrics, or traces. We want to make sure we give you the 360-degree visibility of all the different silos in which the telemetry data is currently stored and managed. And the second one is unlocking your proprietary data for AI-powered innovation. So this is super crucial for you to ensure that you get the insights from where it is actually residing instead of doing any complex data movement or data rehydration or even data restore kind of operations, which is going to add a lot of cost and complexity for your team to before you derive insights out of it. We are going to solve that problem as well. And enabling the overall experience with human and agentic experience to ensure that the offering what we are providing through CDF is a truly next-gen AI-powered architecture, which is going to meet or exceed the business requirements or the use cases that you want to support in short term as well as long term. And in order to activate or like leverage the overall CDF vision, these are the three core pillars that user would actually get out of the overall Cisco Data Fabric vision. So the first pillar being the connect experience. So the data, as I mentioned earlier, the data management and the federated search analytics is going to be unified into a single UI experience so that users don't have to actually work on different apps or have to worry about getting access or even like controlling the privileges or anything for. So it is a very kind of a very straightforward approach for the user to manage everything through a single unified user experience. So if you want to do the edge processor based routing or line, or even like moving the data into a data lake storage like S3 or ASL or anything, or if you want to set up the federation connection. So those are all the key functional components that will actually come under the connect to enterprise data pillar. So you can do that everything through the unified UDX that we are working as a part of this federated analytics and CDF vision. And the second one is the contextualized machine data. So this is more like giving a end-to-end visibility of how the metadata or the data catalog would look like, including the knowledge graph, providing the ability to view the enriched data and substrate, as well as the synthetic data. So this is also actually the ability to contextualize is also given or provided to the end user for their experience through the machine data catalog and the machine data lake offering, what we're going to introduce very soon. And the third one is creating the business value. So search and analytics powered by the AI agents plays a key role in this. So basically, as I mentioned earlier, the federated search capability gives you the ability. Let's say you have a huge set of like historical data sitting in S3 or even like ASL or even Azure blob storage today. So in order to get like derive insights out of it, you have to actually go through the data rehydration of the data movement and bring it back to the Splunk cloud and then associate it with the appropriate use cases to derive insights out of it, right? So with the federated search and analytics offering, you can derive the insights and you have the ability to connect to those data stores uh, directly through the UI with a very simplified and streamlined user experience. And once the connection mapping is done, you can start querying against that data instantly. So the value what we're going to create is the faster time to insight, the ability to um, streamline the overall data management and um, uh, federation offerings, as well as providing the cost-based efficiency for specific use cases. And what's hard about the data lakes today? So visibility is definitely one. So let's say huge chunks of data has been actually distributed across multiple different data lakes, S3, Azure Blob Storage, or Azure Data Lake Storage, or whatnot. So getting for an analyst, it's really hard for them to gain the 360-degree visibility between all the multiple different data silos in which the data is stored today. So that is number one pain point that we always hear out from the customers. And the second one is the schema management. So as you actually scale the data or the data lake storage, managing the schema to optimize the querying experience is super critical, especially when the data is in a raw file dump format. As compared to a well-structured Parquet format, right? So schema management is another major uh, pain point when it comes to the data lake management or data lake analytics kind of uh, use case. Then comes the strategy. So if there are like multiple different teams managing multiple different silos or lake storages, then the use cases would be diverse and expectations would be diverse. So we want to make sure how we can unify all of them to provide the single value proposition through a unified experience through uh, our CDF vision. Now let's deep dive into the federated search offering. Just a quick overview. So we launched our federated search for Amazon S3, which is a 1.0 version of this product a couple of years back. And we do have a good set of like large scale customers currently using federated search for Amazon S3 to derive insights directly from their Amazon S3 and they are empowering or leveraging that specific offering for some of the most common use cases like complaints, audits, or trials, or even like non-real-time threat reporting, then even like correlation use cases. Let's say you have a set of like data which is already sitting in the Splunk native index, and you have a data set that's sitting in Amazon S3. You do have the capability to run correlations and get the unified view of those two data without any data movement. So those are some of the most common use cases that we have seen with the existing customers. So with the 2.0, which is aligned with the CDF vision, we are going to make sure the entire re-architecture has been revamped. And we're also expanding the federated search offering to newer data stores like Azure Data Lake Storage, Azure ABS, Azure Databricks, DDSS, and Snowflake to ensure that the users can enable the unified insights across multiple clouds and data lakes, which would allow them to run Splunk analytics where the data lives without moving it. And this is powered by SPL2, which is our next-gen language that can be used for running the federated search and analytics use cases. And the promote for Amazon S3, this was another functionality which went GA a couple of months back. And this is basically, let's say, a good use case would be S3 promote basically allows the user to ingest the historical data from your Amazon S3 buckets into a Splunk Cloud platform. and which is ideal for like investigations, enrichment, and analysis. And you don't have to necessarily promote the data every time to derive insights out of it. Again, this is more like a functionality for use cases. For example, if you're really looking for a performance sensitive, near real time kind of a threat hunting that you want to do against the historical data, then you can just select that specific data. You can promote that process and ingest it into Splunk Cloud so that the performance that you're going to get out of that specific uh, process, which is like promoted data, would be as good as the Splunk native index based search performance. So for federation, you don't really have to promote the data. This is completely optional, but this would help some of the customers who really want to run the threat hunting or similar use cases within Splunk Cloud. But this comes on demand, right? So let's say you have like 5 years worth of data in Amazon S3, and there is not a requirement for every organization to run threat hunting use cases against the historical data more often. So whenever there is an investigation request or anything, and they have a very specific threat reporting or analysis that needs to happen over historical data, they can pick and choose that specific chunk of data, promote it back to Splunk Cloud, and run the Splunk native. Ensure that they can run it against those promoted data to get high performance kind of like reporting searches and whatnot. So yeah, this will be also part of the Federated Search 2.0 unified data management and Federated Search experience. And as we are going with the next steps from a Federated Search 2.0 standpoint, we are going to extend our support to multiple different data lakes and catalogs. From a data lake and engine standpoint, currently we don't have the 1.0 GA version available for Amazon S3. Within next few months, we'll also have the 2.0 experience for Amazon S3 available. So 2.0 experience is going to give you with the SPL2 level capability and a brand new Spark EMR based engine, which is going to power your querying capability on the back end. And it's going to give you the ability to provide a unified data management and a federated research experience. So there are a lot of like interesting innovations that's happening as a part of the 2.0, and we are making sure this experience is available for all the new data lakes and engines that we are going to support in the foreseeable future. And to start with, Federated Search for Amazon S3 would be the immediate 2.0 version available for the broader customer base. And then we're also working on Snowflake, Azure Blob Storage, ADLS, Azure Databricks, along with Splunk DDSs. So those are the other data lakes that we'll be supporting Federated Search capability and over the next few months or so. And from a catalog and meta stores for larger companies who are like relying on Iceberg or any other open table formats like Unity Catalog or even like Delta Lake, right? It's important for us to ensure that we provide this level of capability in the native Federated Search, Federated Analytics experience so that you can connect to those catalog or meta stores, and we can plug and play whichever catalog that your business would actually require to support your specific use case. And we are going to provide that level of flexibility and diverse set of catalogs and meta store support over the next few months. And some of the key things that's in our roadmap today are like Apache Iceberg, Metastores, Delta Lake, Nessie, Polaris, Apache Hive, and Unity Catalog. And how Federated Search powers a seamless insights, right? So with 2.0 vision, we are going to provide the user with a fully integrated end-to-end data lake routing and analytic capability. So earlier, the data management was handled separately, and the Federated Search was a completely separate user experience or a work stream. Now we are going to unify both the worlds and provide them with a unified end-to-end experience. So as a part of this 2.0 end-to-end unified experience, you can do the data capture, data transformation, complete all the authentication and authorization that's required for you to route the data, then do the schema inference automatically with the help of our native automated technology, as well as derive the insights with the help of federated search and analytics. And last, towards the end, the monitoring is something that we provide you with the capability to monitor the overall usage and consumptions with the Cloud Monitoring Console app that we have. And you will be able to view the specific data store level, uh, license consumption, the query consumption, and all the key metrics that you would love to monitor as a part of the federation um, use cases that you have for your environment. And I wanted to actually make a quick announcement regarding the free trial availability for federated search for Amazon S3. And this is specific to the 1.0 experience. We have, so if you are a Splunk Cloud on AWS customer today and your version is on uh, version 10.1 or beyond, then you'll be eligible for a free trial for federated search for Amazon S3 today. And we have already ensured that majority of the stacks that are in this specific release 10.1 or above has already been activated with this free trial, limited free trial experience. And we would highly encourage you to go ahead and um, try out the product today and give us some feedback and see how this is going to solve your specific use cases or even like the business problems that we talked about in the earlier slide from a federated search standpoint, right? On the right-hand side, you will also see the assets to get started with the free trial, which is like a demo, which will give you a self-paced experience on how you can onboard and try out the product today. All you need is just an AWS S3 account, which is owned by your organization, and some sample buckets that has got some data in the specific format or the file type, which is called out in the left-hand side, which is covered in the key requirements and the supported format section. So if you have a dummy data set or a table that, data set or a S3 bucket that we can connect to, you can start experiencing this today. And we also have like a couple of interesting Lantern articles or knowledge article, which will highlight some of the top 5 use cases that we can support today with the help of federated search for Amazon S3. And the demos or the links, which will be provided later after the session along with the slide, will give you a quick end-to-end experience on how this is something that you can try it on your own without any additional help. But of course, you can definitely reach out to the product or the account owners to see if you see any issues in onboarding into this free trial experience. Having said that, I wanted to actually spend a couple of minutes to give a quick walkthrough on the demo focused on FSS3. Again, I just want to call out this is a 1.0 version. Once the 2.0 is available, you will see some changes on the overall user experience, which is more like a streamlined version of what you're going to see now. Let me quickly share my screen. All right, Tom, I hope you're able to see my screen.
I'm not seeing. Oh, there it is. Yeah, I see it now. Got it.
You got it, right? Okay, thank you. So this is more like a very quick overview or a demo on how you can, if free trial is already activated on your stack, so how you can go ahead and check or validate that and how you can try it out today to understand the value proposition of the FSS3 for your business use cases. So as a user, you can actually set up federated search for Amazon S3 using through 2 different methods. One is a Splunk managed glue table, and the other one is customer managed glue table. So we're going to walk through the Splunk managed glue table, which is available for VPC Flow Logs and CloudTrail today, which is a very, very straightforward and a streamlined experience for you to try it out whenever you're ready to test this out. And let's say in case if your stack is not already activated with a free trial, we do have a sign up forum, which we'll be sharing towards the end of the session. You can go ahead and sign up, or you can reach out to the webinar team so that we'll ensure that we'll work with the engineering team to ensure that your stack also gets the free trial program activated. So the only requirement is that it has to be a version 10.1 or above. All right, back to the demo. So as a user, when I actually click on the settings page, you will see the federation option on the left side panel. And the first and foremost action that you have to do is to make sure the token authentication is enabled. Once that is enabled, you will get a green highlighted enable token authentication, something like this on your UI, Splunk Cloud UI. click on next, and then this is going to actually take you to the next page, which is adding. So if your free trial is already activated, you will find the start free trial option on the uh, top banner. So you can click on start free trial, or you can click on watch demo. So the watch demo is going to actually showcase you with a blog post which will have all the demos and the artifacts that's required for you to successfully onboard into the program. Now I'll click on the free trial button, and then that'll automatically pre-select the Amazon S3 offering, and you'll see the free trial banner here. You can click on the free trial next option, so that there are two different configurations that you have to do as a part of this. I don't want to spend too much of time on that. I'll just give a very high level overview so that we can proceed with the rest of the topics for the session. So there are so those two options are create provider and create indexing. So create provider is basically you're configuring your Amazon S3 and making sure we have the right privileges to read the data from your Amazon S3 buckets. And set up federated index, which is more like a virtual index that we'll be setting them as a part of the metadata management so that the search is optimized in the best possible way. Yeah. So once you proceed with the next steps, you can define your glue tables and catalog resources. You can apply the appropriate AWS policies. And once that's done, you can actually move and save the changes. And there is a KMS policy update, which is optional. In case if you want to update that, you can do that as well. Once the update policy and generation policy through the IAM option is complete from the UI, it'll take you to the consent and confirmation form. And when you click on the create provider, that's going to successfully create the provider, which in this case is a sample Amazon S3 bucket that you want to connect and federate against. And then comes the create index. This is more like an internal operation which would allow you to create a virtual index that's going to help us to optimize the search part based on the partition data as well as the catalog that you're going to use. So in this case, since you have chosen the Splunk Manage Glue Table option, we are going to completely manage and create the metadata, which is in this case the glue table for you. You don't have to do any manual effort to manage or create glue table for this mapping. And that functionality is currently available for CloudTrail and VPC flow logs. And if you're want to test it out against the logs outside CloudTrail and VPC flow logs, definitely you can do that today. The only requirement is to make sure you have a glue table available for you to map this as a part of the onboarding. So once you're done with the federated index creation, you can go to the search and reporting app, and you can start running searches against those indexes which is already created. And here are some sample queries and results that you can see, which is associated to the different types of use cases. And that's a very quick demo. And now I'll stop sharing and I'll just quickly give a highlight on the different assets what we have today, which is a demo to onboard customer managed glue table as well as a Splunk managed glue table, which is what we shared just now, and demo highlighting the top 5 use cases and the Lantern articles, which will give you some guidance around what kind of use cases that you can try it out to get or understand the value proposition of FSSC product through the free trial. So the idea behind the free trial program is to make sure we provide you with a try then buy experience, so that you can try out the 1.0 experience for S3 today and see how it very well aligns with your cost efficiency strategy or the overall data strategy. If you already have Amazon S3 as a major player from a storage standpoint of historical data, then it should definitely, we would highly encourage you to try it out today. And in case if you don't see the free trial activated on your stack, reach out to our team and we'll make it happen as soon as we can. Thank you. And over to you, Tom, to cover the rest of the topics. Yeah.
Thanks, Nitin. Really, really good job there. Very interesting stuff. Oops, let me go back. So I'm going to cover the next section, which is really on value realization with Splunk. And what is value realization is when you can look at something and say, hey, this is delivering value for my business. And that could be optimizing a TCO or maximizing your data value, unlocking capabilities that innovate your business above the competition. But value realization is like fishing. There's there's many organizations that just focus on the boat, the product, or their pitch, which might be the hook, right? And then you have marketing teams, and they're focusing on the water conditions, that the market, the messaging, the campaigns. But what it really comes down to is what's what does the fish care about? And the fish care about the bait, right? And so what is bringing value to them? And value to them is not a shiny hook, it's not a nice boat, but the bait's giving value to to the fish. And today what we're doing is we're focusing on solutions that and items that can help bring value to you, our customers, and really help you maximize your Splunk investment. And obviously, you saw a lot of things that Nitin was talking about with our Cisco Data Fabric and AI capabilities and new solutions that we're coming out with, to meet you where you are with your data, right? But there's other things as well. And first and foremost, if you're not in the cloud today, right, that's where the maximum value is reached, right? And so when I joined the cloud team 8 years ago, I actually had our data scientists say, hey, look at our existing self-managed Splunk customers versus our cloud customers. And then we looked at it, and our cloud customers were delivering use cases 3 times faster. And think about it, if you're focused on delivering use cases, right, versus running Splunk, managing Splunk, keeping Splunk up and running, you're going to be able to focus on delivering value much sooner. We did as analysis over 1,000 of our customers who migrated from self-managed into Splunk, and on average, they were driving an additional over $1 million a year in revenue. And obviously, one of the things I talked with one of our large banks in the Northeast last week or last year at Comp, and they had just recently migrated over into the cloud. And the head of the SOC, what she told me, she said, Tom, I just sleep so much better at night. I reduced all that platform management that we had, the compliance management, right? If something goes wrong, I call you guys. You guys have great support. And I immediately called our support VP and said, hey, you got to come to this meeting, right? She's singing your praises. But, she was, the head of the SOC was just telling me how much better her life was once they moved into the cloud. The other thing that I want to touch on is a new feature and function that we have. And if you are in the cloud today, it's available in your cloud monitoring console, and it's called Value Insights. And this gives you visibility into business outcomes that are occurring, within Splunk. So it's a great way for you to understand, hey, are we getting value? Are our users gaining value with Splunk? Are we growing our use cases? Who's using it? What's the results that they're getting? And this is now in beta. It's in the CMC. And like I said, if you have the cloud, it's available to you. And so the Value Insight use cases, it gives you a dashboard of summarized insights. So again, key metrics that you might want to measure, such as use cases delivered, users, that information over time. It's time stamped as well, so you can look at it and see those metrics over time. There's detailed analytics. There's detailed dashboards, as you can see. You can export the data into PDFs if you need to share it with other folks that maybe aren't in Splunk, and it's very easily shared across. And, where you can show the great work that you're doing in Splunk and understand, hey, are we achieving the value that we set out to do with Splunk? The next thing I want to talk about is related to some contracting and the cloud flexibility that we have there. So, with Cloud Flex, as we call it, and these are contracting vehicle, it enables our customers to shift their committed spend across the portfolio. So today you may have, Splunk Cloud Platform, which has storage and indexing and search and data management and federation that Nitin was talking about, but you may also have the observability products, security products, ITSI products as well. And what Cloud Flex does is it allows you to, as your initiatives and priorities change, and you need new solutions or different solutions or prioritize other solutions, you can move dollars amongst the portfolio to where you need it. And so some examples of this is where you might have a cloud platform reallocation, where you're moving across existing stacks, cross-portfolio reallocation, again, moving between Splunk Unified Platform, observability, security, ITSI, and then Cloud Flex, which is a new, it's in beta, and this is really where you create a dollar pool and you burn down against a dollar pool. So just some examples of this. So cloud platform reallocation, right? You may have multiple stacks. And, I had one customer who has a stack in EMEA and a stack in the US. Well, their EMEA business is growing faster than their US business. They wanted to shift some of the resources across from the US stack into EMEA, and we're able to do that with the cross-platform reallocation. The cross-portfolio reallocation does a great job of basically giving a conversion table that says, look, here's my cloud subscription, here's my unit price, and this is how much it costs, right? And if I want to move dollars, maybe from, say, cloud platform into observability, I would have this kind of menu that says, okay, we can take those dollars, this is how much it would cost you, this is how many SVCs or gigs of ingest you might need to remove or change in your basically in the license. So we allow you to do this, twice a year, where you can say, hey, yeah, we need to pivot, we need to move dollars. We're able to do that with this cross-portfolio reallocation. And then lastly, the new Cloud Flex. Again, we're baited in this with some customers, and this is where you say, hey, we're going to make a dollar commitment. We're going to draw down from that pool. Okay, so as you make changes to the platform, be able to say, yes, we want to pull that data, from our dollar commitment and apply it to these new products that we're interested in using. Great new kind of burn down capability that a lot of our customers are very interested in. I want to give a couple examples of where we use this Flex and where it's been beneficial. One customer, a large global bank, they had 30 contracts with us. So we were able to consolidate them onto a single contract, but give them flexibility to be able to move resources between those 30 disparate contracts and commitments. And so gave them a lot of flexibility in being able to put the dollars where they needed it. Another one was this global tech support provider, and what they were doing is they were moving to the federated search, right? So we talked about hey, meeting you where you are with your data, and potentially instead of putting data into Splunk DDAA, in this case they wanted to just use federated search, but there was going to be some time for them to make that transition, and so we put this on the contract where, hey, they're paying for DDA license today, but if they want to remove some of those and put that into federated search dollars, we were able to do that and give them that flexibility to do that over time. And then the last thing I'm going to talk about here, there is today this portfolio manager, again, also in beta. If you're interested in this, you can reach out. And this is a view into your product portfolio. Where are you actually spending your dollars? What products are you licensing? And then how is that being utilized and used across the portfolio? So it gives a visibility into how you're using your dollars, where it's being spent, and obviously you can share that as well. Okay. So the last thing is a call to actions, and we'll get into QA. So call to actions coming out of this meeting, obviously reach out to your account manager if you want to learn more about the Cisco Data Fabric or Splunk for AI, or any of the value realization things I've talked about, the new dashboards in the CMC Cloud Flex, if that's something that is of interest to you, the portfolio manager. So it's also, if you are an existing cloud customer today, visit the CMC, look at the value insights, right? Begin getting that summarized shareable insight that you can also download via PDF. And then if you're interested in federated search, there's a link here for the form. You'll get this presentation. Fill out that link for that form and sign up. You can get a trial that Nitin talked about that will give you the trial of that federated search for Amazon S3. And so with that, we're going to move into our Q&A section. So if you have any questions, you can go ahead and ask those now. I know we had one come in, and I've just presented that up into the question section. So we have that one answered. But if there's any other questions, type those in, and Nitin and I will be glad to answer those for you.
Thanks, Tom. Just a quick note on the federated search for Amazon S3 free trial. Yeah, you can sign up the form, or you can even let your intention or even your interest directly with the account manager whom you work with directly, so that we'll try to expedite the activation of free trial on your stack. But before you do that, you can definitely go ahead and check the settings and federation tile and see the free trial is already activated. So we have ensured that at least majority of the stacks that are currently in 10.1 or beyond has already got the free trial activation. So you can go ahead and check out your Splunk Cloud UI, Core Admin UI, and see if you see the free trial banner. If yes, you can try it out with the artifacts what we have shared, and reach out to the account team in case if you need any further assistance to complete the onboard. Thanks, Ron.
Yeah. All right. Still no questions. So, again, if we will be sharing this presentation out with you, there's links in there that Nitin showed, and where you can access that free trial and other resources. One other thing that I will bring up, it hasn't been fully released yet, but I'm going to give you guys a little bit of a preview. We are looking at a new licensing model as well for the cloud. So today we have, you can buy by ingest, by the gigs that you ingest. You can buy by a workload model by the compute. Well, we're looking at coming out with a third model that's actually a combination of the two, right? And that it will now give you, it's really a workload based model because it's based on the ingest and the search that you do. But it gives you kind of that burn down capabilities that we were talking about with that pool model. So you make a commit based on the actual ingest that you do, the actual searches that you do. You're going to be able to burn down against that commit, and it's a little more. It gives you the ability to really understand, okay, how much am I paying per search? How much am I paying per gig that I ingest? Because we're burning down based on the actuals that you do against that. So if you're interested, reach out to your rep, and we can get you a preview into what that looks like. Okay.
And one more quick call out. So as we are working towards the 2.0 mission and vision from a federated search and analytics that's aligned to our CDF vision, right? So we're also looking for like alpha participants who are really interested in trying out our federated search for Snowflake and federated search for Azure, data lake storage, EBS, and Azure Databricks. So in case if you're a Splunk Cloud customer today, and if you want to actually join the early access, which might get kicked in around mid of April, please let your account owners know so that the product can work with them to make sure they have the right access to try out the early access for FS Snowflake, which is federated search for Snowflake, then FS Azure offerings, which includes Azure Databricks, Azure Data Lake Storage, and Azure Blob Storage. Thank you.
All right. Well, it doesn't look like we have any additional questions. So I'd just like to thank you for your time today. Again, you can go to the community, the Tech Talk community, to access this presentation. And again, appreciate everybody's time for joining. And Nitin, thank you for the great presentation, and wish everybody a great rest of their week.
Thanks a lot, Tom, and I sincerely thank all the participants here who have taken some valuable time out of their busy schedule to join the session, and happy to answer if we have any post-session questions or anything. Reach out to the webinar team, and we'll be more than happy to answer it offline. Thank you all for joining today.